A new image released by Netflix might have dropped a clue that most people completely missed. Among what looks like a group of new Nevermore students, all seemingly excited to meet Wednesday, there's one figure who stands out, Evie Templeton. She's been officially part of the Season 2 cast since day one, but so far we haven't seen much of her. No standout trailer moments, no dialogue, and barely any character details revealed. And that lack of information might actually be the biggest clue of all, because everything's pointing to Evie not being just another side character, but potentially the key to one of the biggest mysteries of the new season. I mean, why does the masked figure's silhouette in the trailer look so much like hers? We're diving into that theory in today's video. But first, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Most of you watching still aren't subscribed, so don't miss out on what's coming next. In the trailer that dropped earlier, one of the most striking and mysterious moments was the sudden appearance of a masked figure. It's a blink and you'll miss it scene, but it raises a ton of questions, especially because of the visual details. The silhouette looks short, slender, a body type that strays far from the classic 80s slasher villain archetype, which usually leans into tall and bulky. This figure doesn't scream unstoppable killer. It feels more like someone hiding intentionally. And that's where this theory starts to take shape. What if that masked figure is actually Evie Templeton? She's nowhere to be seen clearly in the trailer. No lines, no scenes identified. Even though her casting was confirmed right when filming began, we still don't know who she's playing. That kind of secrecy doesn't feel random. It feels calculated. Now, that alone would be suspicious, but pair it with the fact that her build and outline seem to match the masked figure, and suddenly the dots start connecting, especially in a world like Wednesday where villains don't always lurk in the shadows. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight. Hello, Laurel Gates. It makes sense that this lack of info around Evie is part of the plot, not just a marketing gap. It's entirely possible that she's being kept out of all promo material for one specific reason, because she's too central to reveal right now. The theory that Evie Templeton is the masked villain isn't just built on the lack of info or physical resemblance. What really gives this theory weight is how Wednesday builds its mysteries and the narrative codes it uses to keep the truth hidden in plain sight. Let's look at the show's track record. In Season 1, Laurel Gates posed as the seemingly harmless teacher, Marilyn Thornhill, a character who flew under the radar until she was revealed to be the mastermind behind everything. That same structure could easily be in play again, this time with Evie. This hidden villain setup is a classic technique in psychological horror, especially in cult films like Alice, Sweet Alice, a 1976 proto-slasher movie, where a seemingly innocent young girl is suspected in a string of violent attacks, all while wearing a cold, rigid mask. And of course, we can't ignore Scream, the iconic 90s slasher series that plays with similar tropes, using masked killers and surprise identities. Fun fact, Jenna Ortega starred in Scream 5 and 6. So it wouldn't be a stretch to think Wednesday might draw some inspiration from that kind of storytelling too. The mask shown in the Wednesday trailer carries that same vibe. Blank, anonymous, emotionless. It's not the look of a supernatural monster, it's the look of someone calculated, someone who hides their identity for a reason, because their motives run deep. And visually, Evie fits the exact mold the show loves to play with. Characters who seem slightly out of place, but not enough to raise red flags right away. The kind of person you overlook until it's too late. Netflix just released a new still that shows a group of 5 students in full Nevermore uniform. They all seem to be meeting Wednesday for the first time, probably aware of her new legend status after everything that happened in Season 1. Some of them even look a bit curious or intrigued by her. And right at the center of the group, Evie Templeton holding a notebook. But it's not just her presence that stands out, it's the whole composition of the scene. Everyone's interacting in what seems like a light, friendly moment. But 2 characters in particular catch the eye. Evie herself and the girl on the far right, who's noticeably shorter than the rest. That shorter girl becomes a legitimate suspect too, if we're looking at the masked figure purely in terms of physical build. The silhouette we saw in the trailer could absolutely match hers. Small, nimble, quick. As for Evie, her expression is interesting. It could be read as admiration, and like the others, But look closer, and it almost feels like she's watching Wednesday studying her. So the real question is she just another new student, or is she keeping tabs on Wednesday under the guise of being one of the crowd? If this undercover theory holds up, then this scene might be our first glimpse at how the infiltration begins using a casual, socially safe moment as cover. Because if you're planning to get close to your target without raising suspicion, what better place to hide than among a group of excited fans? In Season 1, Laurel Gates infiltrated Nevermore with a very clear mission: revive Joseph Crackstone's legacy and wipe out the outcasts. But just because Laurel seemed to die doesn't mean the plan died with her. Now imagine this: what if Evie Templeton's character is somehow tied to that same legacy? Then her arrival at Nevermore isn't random. It's the next phase of the plan. But this time, no disguises as a teacher. This time, she's posing as just another student. It's classic slasher storytelling, like in the Scream franchise, where literally anyone could be the killer, and the tension comes from not knowing who's next or who to trust. Evie's casting has been confirmed since filming started, and yet, as of this video, we still know almost nothing about her role. She barely appears in trailers. She has no lines. She's not featured in character posters aside from this one new still that Netflix just released. That all feels very intentional. It's the same narrative technique used for hidden villains. They're not introduced with fanfare. They're built slowly through silence, absence, and loose threads that start to connect later. Eevee might be an infiltrator, a plant sent by what's left of Joseph Crackstone's descendants, and her goal: to blend in, gain trust, and slowly bring down Nevermore from the inside. And if she is the masked figure from the trailer, then once again, the show's biggest villain is hiding right in front of us. The show has already proven that the real villains don't always look like villains. Laurel Gates hid behind the friendly face of a cheerful, nurturing teacher, but underneath that warm smile was a cold, calculating mind, cruel, strategic, and dangerously patient. Now a new figure enters Nevermore, young, quiet, and interestingly, with the same hair color Laurel used in her Marilyn Thornhill disguise. Coincidence? Maybe, but it could also be a clue. Evie Templeton's character might represent the continuation of Laurel Gates' plan, just repackaged in a new generation. She could be the missing piece that ties this season's mystery together. And who knows, maybe she was sent by Laurel herself, who could even make a surprise appearance in the final episode, setting up a direct lead-in to Season 3. But now, it's your turn. Do you think Eevee is really the masked figure we saw in the trailers? Drop your thoughts in the comments, leave a like to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.